Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Shabbos Parshas Noach, the first week in the month of Mar Cheshvan. The real idea of Yaakov Holach L'Darka. Yaakov goes out from the month of Tishrei. We go into the month of Cheshvan and to the rest of the year, getting ready to walk into Yaakov. Though Yaakov is the name of the Jewish people as they are in the world, lower than the name of Yisrael, nevertheless we go out to our way. We walk on a light foot to do our avodah. And I want to say an idea that we learned today, also applicable to our times in the Parsha. We know the month of Tishrei, if you move the letters around, the Rebbe explains, makes up the word Reishis, which means the beginning. But Reishis also is supposed to have an Aleph in it. But we have a support. The Gemara tells us that the verse that says that Hashem watches Eretz Yisrael Mireishis Hashana ad Achris Hashana is from the beginning and the end of the year. It also is lacking the Aleph in the word Reishis over there. And the Gemara explains is because it's coming to teach us that any year that starts off in a way of Rash is an extreme level of poverty, both in the spiritual and the material way. If a person looks and sees the year, the year is not starting good. Maybe this is a sign that I'm going into a really bad year, or I wasn't able to work what I needed to do in Tishrei and Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. So the Gemara says, no, a year that starts off Rash in poverty ends off in Ashiras, Misasheres, becomes wealthy. And like the Rebbe explains, you don't have to wait until the end of the year. The Misasheres starts immediately right away. We say Min HaMeitzar Karasa Yudke, we call out to Hashem from a Meitzar, from a restraint, from a limited place. Anoni, God already answers us immediately, B'merchav, in a place of abundance. And also when we come out of the whole month of Tishrei, so we walk out of the idea of Rash, of the poverty, and the poverty is there's an idea there. The idea of the poverty is that a person that expresses themselves, that comes to Hashem with all their talents, all their uniquenesses, everything that makes them special, which Hashem blessed them with a good mind, good heart, with all the different expressions the person has. So then you're serving Hashem with your chitzonius. Before we go out to the world, like you say, offer the kol tiyah, first we have to find inner humility to the level of Rash, where we have absolutely no identity. And then from there we start Rosh Hashanah, we accept Hashem as King. And then Misasheris, we start to grow in our personality. We become wealthy with our own personality. And the wealthy, and the idea of finding that inner humility in the beginning of the year actually allows for tremendous wealth, because then you have a focused personality. Your personality is all about, because you've built the foundation of service of Hashem to being a servant of God. And this idea is also connected to the Parshas Noach. We spoke many times that the Mei Mabel, the waters of the Mabel, represent the anxieties a person goes through in life, the difficulties. That specifically through the difficulties, a person is able to have, through the Maim Rabim, through the multiple waters, the raging rivers, actually, when a person can identify and find their ark, their place, their holy safe space, their place of Torah mitzvahs, their focus, so then the ark actually rises with the waters of the flood. And actually, it's a necessity. You need an anxiety actually to lift up your ark. If you have no floodwaters, there's no purpose of the ark. So the idea of finding an inner, so to say, Rash, an inner poverty in your personality only helps elevate it once you have that core. So then when you have that core, you know what you're about, you know your purpose is to be a servant of God. So then you're able to use all your talents in a positive way, then it's an elevation. Then you lift up the ark. And like the Rebbe says, that's the idea of Mei Noach. That's why they're called calm waters. Even though they're raging waters, even though they're flooding waters, because they bring calmness, because they bring purpose in a person's life. But the Alter Rebbe continues, and we mentioned this before, that there's two types of Noach. There's Noach l'tachtoinim and Noach elyonim. There's the lower Noach. That's the idea of the raging waters, the anxieties of life that need to be brought out. That's the Reishis without the Aleph. That's the Rash, that's the poverty, that yes, through difficulties we elevate, we get focused. But there's a second level of Noach. A person could reach, like the Alter Rebbe says, it's not always a time for purification. It's not always a time for hard times brings elevation. There's an idea of Noach to find Menucha in the positive way. Like when the Rebbe would always say that the difference between exile, goyla, and geula is the aleph. When a person inserts the letter aleph into goyla, it becomes redemption. You could choose. Hashem responds to our choices. If we want to be a first level of Noach and say that we need to find poverty, inner poverty, actual poverty, God forbid, in order to find focus and purpose and direction, so Hashem says, of course, we'll lift up your ark. But if you're going to be a person that says, no, that my Noach is that I need to be going forward, not to find difficulties to elevate, but to take the positive. I have confidence that with positive, even if they have the good menucha, even if I have the second level of Noach, even if I have geula, I have redemption, I'm still going to find elevation, I'm still going to find purpose. Like the Rebbe finishes off and says that when a person comes to God and asks for pearls, it depends what kind of pearls you're asking for. You could ask for the pearls of barley, because you don't have confidence that you deserve more, and you think you need a poor man's porridge, you need a poor man's soup that you can only put in water and barley, or you could ask for pearls, for expensive stones, because you know you have the confidence that you could take that and turn that into an elevation. And the Rebbe says this applies also to our attitude with the nations, and when it comes to Eretz Yisrael. When we look at Eretz Yisrael as in a way of ashiras, in a way of wealth, in a way of strength, then we look at the Goyim and we're thankful for all the help the Goyim give us, the nations give us, but we know that that doesn't dictate our future. We don't walk into a negotiation, we don't make decisions based on poverty. Say we have no choice, we have to give in, we take weapons from this country, we have to be thankful for the kindness they give us, and therefore we have to sacrifice and compromise the safety and security of Eretz Yisrael. And the Rebbe says no. We have to be strong. We have to walk out like an Oisher, like Chizkiyahu HaMelech. The Rebbe would talk about King Chizkiyahu in Sukkot because it's important. Chizkiyahu faced the world, the entire world, his own Congress, his own staff. The parliament in Israel told him that he's crazy. You can't find Sancheriv. Sancheriv is the nation, is the head of the world. What he says goes. And Chizkiyahu said no. This is not Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim means Yerushalayim. We have to do what Hashem wants. And we'll be Zoicha. With that attitude, we should be Ashirim Begashmias. We should have a year of Ashiras, a year of wealth, a year of the second level of Noach. The idea that we shouldn't have difficulties. We shouldn't have to start off with poverty. We shouldn't have to start off with issues, whether it's health, parnas, or anything. We should come in a way of strength to build on that strength, and we should have the confidence that we don't need difficulties to find purpose and find focus. That even with abundance of blessings, we could take that and turn that into a dir b'tachton with Mashiach Tzidkenu. We should have geula pratis, an inner redemption, and then we should have a personal redemption, and we should have the true redemption for the whole world with Mashiach Tzidkenu. Good Shabbos.